Welcome back to My Hero Academia Anime Review, episode number 97. Yeah, third video in a row in just 2 days. Yes. This one, unlike the last two episodes, last one I reviewed a new chapter of the manga, and the one before that was the movie. This one, first time in quite a while I've done this, I'm reviewing the light novel series. We have the 5th volume for My Hero Academia School Briefs. Yes. Now there's a couple posters in here. There's this. And this. Now, the title of this one is called Underground Dungeon. That does play a role in like one of the chapters in here. Plus, this one does something uniquely different. There's actually intermission stories in here. Yes, intermission stories. Like, that's interesting. There is Homecoming Tales. There is about 4 of them. There's one let's see, there's about 4. One focus on Momo when she comes home for all related New Year's. Where she comes home and they throw a New Year's party, and there's a movie all about her, and it's just a great. That was actually pretty good. The Froppy one, I love this one because, well, my Froppy, female character series. For her, it's her basically going back home first time in a while. And she's wondering how her younger siblings, up to. And they're basically like wearing aprons. They're like, are you cooking? No. Basically, the brother was actually cleaning the bathroom. The sister was cleaning the kitchen. Because it was their day to do it. Because their parents did it on Saturday. Which, okay, not bad. So, basically, some food together. And then it sees that these two are making soba. By the way, one of the 2 stories where you have characters who don't know how to cook properly are making soba. They did the same thing for the Todoroki family as well, which that's quite interesting. Yep. It's an absolutely very adorable story. I love it. There's one for Chaku. Yes, Ochaku is one here. Where she gets to visit her parents. It's mentioned in the story that her father's construction business is doing really well. And her mother's worried about her because she thought is Bakugo bullying you? And he's like, no. That was just a serious fight we had during the school fest during the big epic event that happened during season 2, and you may wonder, like, do you have a crush? And it is so obvious. The readers know. Anyone who's read the manga and watch the anime knows she has a thing for Deku, and she's like blushing the whole time. And of course, Moro's like, engagement, marriage, and if I was like. Yep, he just basically, the parents are overreacting, but it's just a great one. In the case of the Todoroki one, this one's unique. This one that surprisingly does not feature Endeavor. As a matter of fact, it's at the house. So, he comes home. You have Shuda coming home, and it's revealed that he actually ate lunch with his mother, and of course his brother Natsu is there. Yes, he has a brother named Natsu, just like, it's pretty much the same thing as the character from Fairy Tail, though looks completely different. So we had this little funny thing where she went to go get some mochi, and turns out she comes back to come get the mochi, and she finds that her brothers trying to make soba, and they didn't measure properly. Like, okay, we'll make soba. Yep, these are actually really good stories. Now for the Homecoming Tales. Now a lot of this book basically fills in some gaps that are actually in the Endeavor Agency arc. Okay, the first chapter of the book, which is called UA's Underground Dungeon. Which is basically like where you have, I think it's like Ingenium, a couple of the Class A, who do some training, and they basically end up in a labyrinth. And they of course do some damage. But look up, they're basically found by the principal, who reveals is an old training facility meant to like train new stuff, and the room there, it's my break room. And after they leave, it's revealed they actually lied to the students. It's actually just a drop-off area for Mai, who is the supply hero for Deku and a lot of the other Class A, because her babies, as she called it, she gets mentioned here, but she does not make a physical appearance. Her teacher does. Power Loader, who's got a shovel on his head. Yeah, this is just a place just to drop off all of her, like, gadgets, because basically it's getting, like, he was getting fed up, basically, with cramming up the lab that he has. Yep. But that's it for that one. The that's a okay one. That one. Unlucky as Santas. This one is so. I love this one. You have Eraserhead, Present Mike, Midnight, and 13 dress up as Santa Claus for Airy. We have first basically mentioned, oh, she go to the Christmas party, and this is of course just after that. So it kind of fills in like a little gap for Airy, where there's the beginning thing is like, oh, it's Airy Claus. And of course she says trick or treat, and it's like, oh, wrong holiday. Let's see if I can find it here, because it is a funny thing. Yeah, which I'm so glad they put this in here. This is just so adorable because Airy is just an adorable little girl. And she's wondering, will Santa Claus visit Deku? Because, well, she's good friends with Deku. And so, and she also gives, like, various characters nicknames, like the various teachers. She calls Midnight Miss Art because they basically draw and read books together. She calls Present Mike Mr. English because he teaches English. I don't know what she calls 13, though. I'm not really sure what she calls her. Yeah, I didn't know exactly what gender 13 was because she wears a spacesuit a lot of the time, so I can't exactly tell what gender is. Oddly enough, 13, they've never shown 13's face. One of, like, a few characters, they've never shown a face at all. So, and of course, she fits the bill of the Santa Claus really well. So, and of course, they have all their presents ready for her. But before they go to her room to put her on her bed, of course, she has like a little stocking, which is basically one of her teeny tiny socks. And when she comes out, she's like, here's something. She's, of course, all the teachers hide in the bathroom, which I found to be so hilarious. I mean, having all the teachers hide in the bathroom, of course, they all get in their freaking window. Yep. And then, of course, they all put the present on her bed, but there's the sock for the stocking thing, so they put, one of them has got the smallest you can put in there, so I think, oh no, Sam must not put something because they forget something, but it's just an adorable story. I love it, because I love stuff featuring Eric, because it's so freaking good to see development for this character. I like the fact I believe this is the second book to feature her, if I'm not mistaken. She was just featured in the last book, too. So she's featured in 2 light novels, which is great. I love the fact they feature her. So that's the unlikely one. That was actually pretty fun, that one. Mm-hmm. New Year's with a Childhood Friend. This is actually just after Shudo rejoining his father at his agency, along with he joined with Deku and Baku's, of course, just afterwards. And just a day, just basically spend New Year's. They're doing with Troll, and of course, kind of a couple kids who are just like Deku and Bakudo, who talk about childhood friends, and of course, why they argue each other about being childhood friends. It's just a pretty interesting story for what it is. And it's about helping some kids with some word games, which is just all about superheroes. Really good stuff there. Mm-hmm. The Hot Pot Party to get fired up. This actually is the last one they have in here. And it simply put a pot party where Class A and Class 1B are having a pot party. You know, people are thinking, pot party? What are these, smoking pot? No. Basically, have this stir-fried pot, basically with food in it, and just all have a nice little party. It takes the whole chapter. I don't know exactly when this takes place, because I think they did have one of these in the anime. I think they had this just before. I think it's just after the conclusion of the Endeavor Agency stuff. And just a really fun little thing here. There's that one point where you have the guys doing one side of the bath, and the girls on the other side of the bath, and Shudo's quirk goes out of control. So Vine, being a good person she is, she wraps Chaku, Momo, and a few other girls who are knocked unconscious. And they also mention they cover the blankets because it's implied these girls are all naked. And I'm getting off the ceiling because I think Menta must throw them up there or something. Because Menta is a known pervert. Yep. But this overall was a really good book. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And it's just as good as the last book. I at least got to praise it for that. Because that one basically filled in some gaps for the school festival. This one kind of did the same thing too with the Endeavor Agency stuff, which was really good. Now, this is overall 5 light novels. Like this book, a 10 out of 10. It's just really good. Like, in the case of basically now, this kind of fills in some gaps they have in the Endeavor Agency stuff. And they do mention a book that, well, I think it was in the last story that they had just... Actually, I think it was one of the stories they mentioned that where... I think it was in the Homecoming story that I think it was his sister or his brother probably thought that he was friends with Bakudo due to how close they got when they got the license. He's good friends with Deku, no problem, because they are very, very, very friendly with each other. And it's just an overall just really good book. I thoroughly enjoy reading these particular books for like these light novels that for My Hero, like it's so good. See, when the first one came out, I think it was just a couple years ago, I think it was, I had no idea these books even existed for My Hero, because I knew about the manga, I knew about the anime, the movies, but the light novels, didn't know they existed. No. And, like, and I kind of thought, though, maybe they would have another book. And, yeah, they did. They had their book. And in case you wonder about the team missions, because I reviewed the first one, the second volume comes out in January. Like, January? Yeah, they're taking some time. Also, and I did notice this, I thought this was kind of weird. Really? Changed it again? Seriously. Like, they're really pushing it. Yeah, I'm looking at the release date for the manga volumes for My Hero. Like, here's the thing. Volume 29, which I own this book, came out back in September. Volume 30 is, get this, not set to come out until March. Like, it was like before, like once every like, couple months. That's what it was before, like monthly. That's what it was for a long time. But now we're getting like a long time. Like, so apparently between releases, we got 6 months. I'm like, why? This makes no freaking sense. Well, I have heard some rumblings that there's been supply issues. That's probably the reason why that it's taking so long, that the release has been delayed because of supply issues. Yeah, because I've heard during the last year, because of the stupid pandemic, there's been supply issues. That's the reason why some books been delayed. But the school brief stuff, let's get back to that. It's just really good. And in case you're wondering, are these books canon? Yes. Yes, they are. They are very much canon. It is confirmed by the actual writer of the series that these books are canon. And these books kind of tell the personal side stuff. Basically, it's just stuff basically the main writer himself doesn't have time to do. And here's the thing. The illustrations in these books, and there's honestly not much in here. Yeah, like these illustrations here. Yeah, that is done. This one right here, the one that features the Todoroki siblings. Yes, this is done by the series creator, who is Horikoshi. Yes. So he doesn't exactly mention these in the books, but he himself does confirm in the afterwards that these books are indeed canon. Yes, they are spin-off light novels of the series, and they do fill in some gaps, which make total sense. Do I think they make another one? Yes, because this book was good. I love it. Like, I mean, what else can you possibly do with the book series? I mean, the next arc of the Endeavor Agency is basically the Paramount War arc. I mean, you can't exactly do a light novel set during that because there's a lot of stuff going on there. It's a major war arc for the series. The only thing else you could do is basically a lead up to it. Possibly, yes. But yeah, that's all I can say about it. But just a really good book. Okay, so that's a particular review. One more review tonight, and that's probably it. I think I'll say this for tomorrow. Yeah, I think we'll do a comic corner, but I think I'll do next is One Piece. Yep, One Piece. Where I'm going to discuss the final 4 episodes because I have one more episode left to go. You'll see that next. Okay, next video. Bye.